what's up? It's Sarah. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you have been here before. Today, as you saw by the thumbnail and the title of this video, this is going to be kind of a special one for me. It's very different from what I normally post, but that's okay. A YouTube channel doesn't have to be one-faceted, and I don't always have to do weight loss videos, or I don't always have to do makeup videos. If there's something else I want to share, for whatever reason it may be, then I'm going to share it. But anyway, I'm going to talk today about the time that I met Simple Plan. And before I even get started, anybody is here hoping that I'm about to totally just like rash this band, you can leave now because I'm not going to. That's kind of part of the reason why I'm making this video. So I'm not making this video to try and show off. I'm not making this video to try and sound stuck up or anything of that nature. I'm making this video because it was a really cool experience and I just want to share it. It seems like the popular thing is to bash on celebrities or YouTubers or influencers, like whatever it may be, musicians that meet their fans and the fans don't have the best experience. Like, that just seems to be a popular thing to do, and I just want to sit here and say, like, that's not always the case. So you can always have faith that your favorite celebrities, YouTubers, whatever, are really good people in real life too. And let me just say, that's the case with this band. They are actually really great people, and so I'm kind of excited to talk about them, to talk about my experience, why I like them, and so that's part of the reason. And then the other part of the reason is if anybody's curious about what the VIP experience is with Simple Plan, I can tell you a little bit about it, and hopefully it helps you decide to take part in it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hop into it. The first thing I want to talk about though is the band itself. The band is made up of 5 members: Jeff, Chuck, Pierre, Sebastian, and David. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about where they're from and just kind of their musical history and all of that stuff. They are from Canada. To be more specific, they are from Montreal, and they are a punk rock, punk pop, emo, whatever you want to call it band. They have released 5 albums. In 2002, they released their first album, No Pads, No Helmets, Just Balls. In 2004, they released Still Not Getting Any. In 2008, they released their self-titled album, Simple Plan. In 2011, they released their 4th album, Get Your Heart On. And in 2016, 5 years later, they released their most recent album, Taking One for the Team. Fingers crossed that they release another one coming up here soon. Like, I want more music. I love their music so much. In addition to that, they had an EP that came out, Get Your Heart On, The Second Coming, so Live from Japan and MTV Hard Rock Live. Those are the 2 live albums. One thing the band is also noted for is their work with Vans Warped Tour, and I think that's really cool. Vans Warped Tour, if you don't know, is going to be doing its last run here this summer, so my fingers are crossed that they come back to do it this year. Like, please come back to do Vans Warped Tour for the last run. You guys were such a big part of it. Please, 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 please. They haven't announced the final lineup yet. It is announced on March 1st, which is coming up here next week, so I don't know. I really hope that they come back. I know that my boyfriend had read an article and they were mentioned, but there's no like certainty that they're gonna be on it. I know they did Warped Tour Rewind at Sea. So another thing about this band that's kind of cool is they were in A New York Minute with the Olsen twins, that movie. They've been on my radar since at least 2003 when Cheaper by the Dozen came out. I'm gonna link a video down below of the scene that I'm talking about, but all of the kids had to go to their new school. They held hands and walked in together, and the song I'm Just a Kid played over it. And they've done a lot of work with Scooby-Doo, it seems like, over the years. They were in an episode with them. They've done music. They've used their music for some of their different movies, which I think is really cool. Like, Scooby-Doo was one of my most favorite TV shows growing up, and Simple Plan is my favorite band, and they did work together, which is really cool. If you still aren't sure who they are,
and here it goes. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid, I know that it's not fair. So shut up, go on and hear it. Turn around to be on the edge of breaking down, with no one there to save you. No, you don't know what it's like. Welcome to my life. Sorry, I can't be perfect. Clouds are circling around, but I won't let that shit drag me down. So I'll be singing, I'll be singing, I'll be singing the rain.
oh, this one. They literally used words from their fans to write the song.
I was broken, I was choking, I was lost. This song saved my life.
Well, I think that pretty much covers it. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about why I love them so much. Then we'll get more into meeting them and all that stuff because I want to cover it all. This isn't just a video about, oh, I met my favorite band. I did this, I did that, I did the other. Like, I want to talk about this all together because I think a lot of people who are just as big fans of this band as I am, they like understand and like get it. So like, I want to talk about it. The biggest reason that I love them so much is because their music, it speaks the truth, I guess, in a lot of ways. And like, so many of their songs I can listen to and it's like, okay, thanks for putting into words what I couldn't say myself. You're gonna hear that later, by the way. Like, they literally can put my feelings into words. It's the coolest thing. Having music that you can relate to so strongly is something that I love. Like, I love it so much and I find so much comfort in their music and knowing that other people have felt the same way that I've felt. Another thing that I really like about them is that they're like awesome people. They really take care of their fans. I don't know if you knew this, but one of their songs is actually words from their fans, and they also have their fans in music videos. It's really cool. One other thing is I'm a part of their official crew, their official fan club, Simple Plan crew. They're all like family guys, and it is the coolest thing ever. I follow them on social media, and they're always posting about their wives and their kids and their families, and it's literally the sweetest thing. And I'm like, you guys are the best. Like, why can't every musician be like you? By the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with their sound changing and maturing, going from writing a song just to try and secretly slip a word onto MTV to going to a song that's a little more poppy and a little more upbeat and just a little different. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. All musicians evolve. And one other thing, while I'm talking about how I have a personal connection to this band and to their music, I'm gonna start crying. I don't want to start crying. I've said that their music is the truth. I've said that they put into words what I can't say myself. I don't want to sit here and make this video a sad video and talk about why that's so true and why their music really hits home for me and why I will never stop listening to their music, why I will always support them. This is about how appreciative I am of them, but I'm gonna say this. I've listened to them I started listening to them when I was like 10 or 11, so 10 or 11 years now. The real connection started in high school. There were a lot of really rough things that happened in high school, and I always turned to music as my comfort, as a lot of people do. And Simple Plan's music was always there. It was always truthful. It always hit home. There's no other band out there that could comfort me like they did, and that they make me feel okay like they did. Like, their music is what got me through so many tough times in high school, and I don't think that a lot of people that knew me in high school knew what I was going through, where my mind was, where my heart was, how I felt all the time. And this includes my family. I was very good at putting on a brave face, making everything seem okay and feel okay, but man, high school was tough. I'm not trying to say I'm unique. I know high school is very tough for a lot of people, but that's where the big obsession started. So that would have been probably 6 years ago was when the big connection to Simple Plan started. So about 4 years after I started really listening to them and really enjoying their music, and that was when I really connected to them as musicians, as artists, their lyrics, everything like that. And then another 3 years after that, I really don't want to get into big specific. A person entered my life and had no respect for me, didn't care about how I felt, and not letting me be me, and kind of stealing my life and turned it into what they wanted it to be, not what I wanted my life to be. And I was in a very, very dark place. I was not myself. I was not happy. And I turned to music again. Simple Plan had always been there. They were there in high school. Really, I don't want this to be a sad, emotional video. That's not what this is about. This is about celebrating them as artists, being thankful for them as artists, which I am thankful for. I turned to their music again, and I'm very lucky that I did, and I was very lucky, and I'm still very fortunate to be able to say that there's a band like this that I connect to so strongly that can get me through times like that. So I'm gonna leave that at that. I'm not gonna say anything more. I'm sure we all have that band, that musician, that singer that we're that connected to, but for me it's Simple Plan. Always has been, always will be. I'm in a very good headspace right now. I'm in a very good place in my life. I don't want anybody to pity me or to feel sorry for me. I'm okay now. Let's go ahead and talk about the VIP after party experience thing and what all of that entails. So basically, in order to do the VIP experience, you have to buy a concert ticket. They're two separate things. So you have to buy your ticket to the concert, and then you have to buy the VIP ticket, which for me was worth it. I met 4 of them. David wasn't back there, but I'll talk about that later. So you know that question, if you could meet anybody living or dead, who would it be? Dead would be Elvis Presley, and alive would be all of Simple Plan. Like, I couldn't just pick one of them. them, it would just be simple plan. So I was like, all right, here's my chance, I'm gonna do it. So you gotta get your ticket, and then you gotta get your VIP ticket. One of the other really cool things about this is that part of the money you pay for the VIP ticket goes to the Simple Plan Foundation. If you guys are unaware of what that is, basically it's a foundation that they started to raise money for youth, and I'm not gonna try and sit here and explain it too much. I'll link something down below about it. Also, when you go backstage, you get a VIP tag, you get to meet all of the band, you get to take as many selfies as you want, you get a poster that's signed by them, and then you also have a pretty cool pizza party. Who doesn't like pizza? So now that I have just kind of laid out the basic facts, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my experience about the whole concert and the VIP thing altogether in general. So I live in Omaha, and I've been like watching, I'm like, when are they gonna come anywhere remotely close to Omaha? Like, I want to see them in concert, like so bad. Back when they came the last time, like I couldn't afford concert tickets on my own, so like I kind of had to beg my parents, and they weren't gonna take me to go see Simple Plan. It's not really their type of music. First I saw they were gonna be in St. Louis, and I'm like, oh my god, that's 6 hours. How am I gonna convince anybody to go? So I was like, mom, please, please, please take me. She goes, no, 6 hours is way too long. I don't want to go with you. Okay, fine. And then I saw that they were gonna be in Lawrence, Kansas, which is right outside Kansas City-ish area. Okay, let's try that. Mom, please, 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 please go with me to see this band. No, I'm not going with you to see some angsty teenager punk band. Okay, I get it, I get it. Bear in mind, I've got like 5 friends in real life, so finding somebody to go with me to the concert itself, that was kind of a feat. Anyway, a week after trying to talk my mom into it, I was hanging out with my friend Zach, and we were talking about it. He's like, Sarah, I like Simple Plan done. I'm like, wait, do you want to go? So we ended up going. I bought him his ticket as a birthday present. Our friend Tyler also came with us, and Zach's girlfriend Amanda also came with us, and we drove down to Lawrence for the weekend. We left in the morning-ish time, and we had lunch on the way, and then we got down there, and we all just kind of hung out before the show. I got ready, I did my makeup, all that stuff, and we made a whole big weekend of it. So me, Tyler, and Zach were the only 3 that went to the concert. Amanda didn't go. It was kind of a last minute decision for her to come with us. She decided she was just gonna come, and she was gonna stay at the hotel and chill out, so that was cool. So we had driven 4 hours down to our hotel, and then the show was actually like an hour away at the Grandana. I'm not saying that right. I remember people that were actually from Lawrence calling it something else. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it was at this Grandana place in Lawrence, Kansas on Mass Street. So I get there, they drop me off because I had to be at the front entrance to get in line for the VIP thing beforehand. So basically, if you're in the VIP, you get to get in line first. They check you off, check your ID to make sure you actually are who you say you are. So after they check your ID to make sure that you are who you say that you are then escorted into the venue, and you are given early access to the merch that the band is selling and early access to where you want to stand because the show was GA. Now, both of these things might sound kind of weird, but the merch thing is actually a pretty cool deal. I know that they ran out of mediums in the concert tee that like was directly for the show. So, you know, it might be a good thing to have early access to the merch if that's something you're really concerned about, and being able to pick where you stand beforehand, because if a show sells out like the one in Lawrence did, then you're not going to be able to be upfront and personal with the band if that's what you really want. And anyway, so while I was standing in line, I had befriended some girls because I was there alone. Tyler and Zach didn't want to do the backstage VIP. Tyler doesn't really know the band all that well. He just wanted to come to have fun and go to a concert. Zach really likes them, but he's not as connected to them as I am. So I was like, alright, I'm doing it by myself. If you guys don't care, if you'll wait for me after the show, I want to do this. And they were like, yeah, go for it. So I did. I did the VIP after game party experience thing by myself, and I was so nervous to do that, not have anybody back there with me, but I was like, you know what? I don't even care. This is my favorite band. I'm not gonna have an opportunity like this again. I'm connected to their music. I'm connected to who they are as people. Like, I'm not gonna pass this up. And luckily, I did befriend some girls when I was out in the line. So when we went in, I walked with them or whatever, and we were hanging out. I was up at the front, like very front of the stage. I was waiting with them, and then the rest of the people came in, and I met back up with Tyler and Zach, and we went up to like what was like the upper deck, I guess, of the concert hall, and we watched the concert from up there. After the concert was over, you then had a meeting place that you went to, and that's where everybody waited for the manager to then take you upstairs, back upstairs to where we were, where you would then meet the band. So when you get up there, they have all the pizza and stuff left out for you because you do get a pizza party, which is pretty cool, and you start eating your pizza. So I was hanging out with the girls that I had befriended, and this is so funny to me, and I still can't believe that this happened and I caused this, but oh well. It's funny. It's a story I can tell now. I okay, so at the time I was a vegetarian, so I was still eating eggs, cheese, milk, dairy, all that stuff, but I wouldn't eat meat. And back then I wouldn't even like pick meat off of pizza. Like I wouldn't do that. It was gross, it would upset my stomach, but I was hungry and Simple Plan had pepperoni pizza for us, so I was like, I'm eating it. So I picked the pepperonis off my pizza and I put them on the side of my plate, and I'm eating my pizza, and I had finished my pizza and I am turned around to go throw it away, and all of a sudden there was some commotion. The band came upstairs and it was time to meet them, and I'm like, oh my god. So Pierre kind of walks towards the middle of where this was. I kind of backed up because he was walking towards the center, and we were kind of, me and these girls were kind of standing in the center, and he was right there. And my initial reaction was to back up to let him talk, and I guess while I was backing up, the pepperonis fell off of my plate because he's like, oh, we're making a mess, and he made some sort of a joke along those lines, and he goes and he picks up the pepperonis, and I'm like looking down and I'm like, oh my god, Pierre just picked up the pepperonis I dropped on the floor. Like, I just made a mess. Pierre cleaned up after what? And I just think that that's so funny and it's so weird, and I kind of feel bad because it's like, I'm supposed to be a good fan. I'm not supposed to be making a mess, but it was an accident and he laughed about it. Yeah, so I guess I can say Pierre from Simple Plan cleaned up my mess. I don't know, it was so funny, but I just wanted to throw that out there. That was kind of funny. So then he stood in the middle, and I don't exactly remember his spiel. It was something along the lines of, finish up your pizza, we're gonna kind of scatter, and you can come through and take as many selfies with us and chat with us and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to tell you about meeting each of the band members now individually, and I'm going to start off by saying that they're all just such genuine human beings. They're all so kind, but there was one thing that stuck out when I met each and every one of them about themselves that I just thought was super cool. So I'm going to start off with Sebastian. He was very welcoming, I guess is the right word. He was very chatty. He was like, did you enjoy the show? Did you have a good time? Have you been a fan for a while? Where are you from? Oh wow, that sounds like it's a far distance away. Thank you for making the trip. And it was very much like he wanted to know these things. He wasn't just trying to make small talk and to make himself look good for his fans. Like, it seemed like he actually wanted to know these things, which to me is so cool. If you're gonna meet a celebrity and they're just gonna like pretend like they actually care about what you have, that sucks. But clearly he wanted to know if I had a good time, if it was worth the trip. Like, wow, oh my god, you're so nice. And he was just so welcoming, and I was so appreciative of that. And the next guy that I met was Jeff. When I met Jeff, again, very welcoming. Oh, did you enjoy the show? And I was like, yeah, I had a good time. When we went to take a picture, this is what really stood out to me about Jeff. We took a normal one, and I like smiled, and I made my like whatever, like my selfie face, and he goes, no, take a funny picture. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, let's do a crazy one. I'm like, okay. And I don't even know what happened, but I made the stupidest face. I was like, cool. But I took the picture, and it was just so funny to me. He was just joking around. He was very lighthearted, and it was clear that he was just being himself. And he was like, let's take a funny picture. And that was like really cool. He just seemed so comfortable being himself, and he wanted to be there. That was like, clearly this is a common theme, but he really wanted to be there, and he wanted to chat and talk with me, and he wanted me to take a funny picture with him, so I didn't just have boring selfies, which I appreciate. Alright, I'm going to talk about Pierre and Chuck next. And meeting these two guys in particular, I had something really important that I wanted to tell the both of them, because they co-wrote the song Welcome to My Life. That is like one of my most favorite songs of all time. I have a tattoo with its lyrics. Like, I wanted to make sure that they knew that that song was really important to me. So I'm going to talk about Pierre first, and then I'm going to talk about Chuck, because Chuck said one of the kindest things to me. So when I met Pierre, I was scared. I was like terrified and nervous. Not like scared of him, but I was like scared, oh my god, I'm going to say something so stupid. Here it is. Here's the moment that I tell him, thank you for writing that song. And I walked up to him and I'm like, oh my god, hi. And he took my phone. He's like, here, let's take a selfie. We took a selfie, and I stood there and I go, I just want to say thank you. You guys put into words what I could never say myself. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, welcome to my life. You put my feelings into words. Yes, that is one of the band's biggest hits, but it's so raw, it's so real, and I connect to it so very much. And I just wanted to make sure he knew that, like how appreciative I am that that song came to be, and I love it so very much. And he goes, well, thank you. It means a lot to us to know that what we're doing means a lot to you. And I'm like, oh my god, thanks. I go, yeah, I actually have it as a tattoo. And he goes, really, where? And I go, on my ribs. And he goes, I have my ribs done too. And we started talking a little bit about tattoos, and again, he was just so comfortable with being himself and being around his fans, and it wasn't like he thought he was better than any of us. It was just, hey, I'm Pierre, I'm part of Simple Plan. Let's hang out. Let's take pictures. Let's talk about tattoos. And I'm like, why can't every musician be like you guys? So anyway, that was meeting Pierre, and that was really cool. So then after I met Pierre, the girls that I befriended, they're like, oh my god, I feel like I have to give you a hug. So I gave him a hug or whatever, and I'm like, wait, I still have to meet Chuck. So then I walked over to Chuck and hi, hello, we took some pictures. We took a couple of funny pictures, and we were kind of chatting, and I said the exact same thing that I said to Pierre. I just want to say thank you for putting into words what I can never say myself. And he goes, really? He goes, well, you're very welcome. And I go, I really connect to the song Welcome to My Life. And he goes, oh, well, that's really great. He goes, I'm so happy that you connect to that song and that you're a fan of ours and that you're here tonight. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. And this stands out to me so much. And he goes, so you've been a fan of the band for a while now, haven't you? And I go, oh yeah, like I've followed the band for 9, almost 10 years. And I said, yeah, I've been listening to you guys for a long time. I love what you do. I love your sound. I love your new stuff. I don't just love your old stuff. Like, I'm a huge fan. I'm so thankful that you have given everybody here the opportunity to meet you. That's so kind, and not many artists would do that. And he goes, well, I'm very glad that I had the opportunity to meet you. And I'm like, wait, what? You just said what? You're just very genuine, and it's very clear that you mean what you say. I was like, hold the phone. I was like, Chuck just said that he was glad that he had the opportunity to meet me. What just happened? Here was picking up pepperoni that fell off of my plate. Chuck just told me he was glad he met me. Jeff was taking pictures with me and telling me to be silly, and Sebastian's asking me about my hometown. I'm like, these guys are in a band that is like huge, and they care this much. It was so cool. It was so cool. Like, I really don't know if I can even put it into words how awesome this was. So anyway, I finish up talking to Chuck, and I go and hang out with the girls some more. So after all of the fans have met everybody in the band, they then have their manager or whatever, which, by the way, how cool would that be to work with your favorite band? Like, if I could have my dream job, like, I could just see them being like my older brothers and like being best friends with them. Like, I just think that would be so cool. If I could do anything, that's like right up there with being a music video producer, running a kid's summer camp, or working with my favorite band. Clearly those are like 3 very random things, but those would be my top 3. Anyway, all the fans that did the post-game VIP thing go and sit down, and then he has the band come sit with them, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and Sebastian's like right behind me and like the girls that I had befriended, and I'm like, whoa, wait, what? And I turn around and I'm like, hey, and he's just like cracking jokes. He's talking to us and he's like, okay, so where should we go next? Like, turn around, and I'm like, come to Omaha, Nebraska. And he's like, oh, Omaha, we haven't been there in a while. And I was like, yeah, you should definitely come. It's a great city. It'd be a great place. There's a good venue. He was just sitting there talking to me like he was my friend. And not just me, but the other girls that were around there too. So that was really cool. Then we took 2 pictures. We took a normal one and we took a silly one. I'll go ahead and insert them right now. You do the group picture, like everybody all together with the band, and then they have you get in line. Everybody goes through and they take a picture of you with just the band. Then on the way out, you get your poster that they had all already signed, and David signed as well. Overall, it was the coolest thing ever. It was one of the best nights of my life, if not the best night of my life so far. Like, really, honestly, it probably was the best night of my life so far. I'm gonna show you what you get at the show. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the poster, and the band had all signed it, so that's pretty cool. You get the ticket, and it's no pads, no helmets, no balls. Tour. You only get this ticket if you were part of the VIP. My friends did not. Oh, one thing that I didn't even say at the beginning, this tour was their 15th anniversary tour of their very first album. This was in 2017. It was basically just a thank you to the fans for letting them continue to make music. So like, hello, there's another reason why I love them so much. It was a thank you to their fans. They played that album straight through, start to finish, and then they played some of their other fan favorites as well. So there's that. And then the other thing that I had mentioned earlier is your VIP like tag. That is this, and it just says no pads, no helmets, just balls, 15th anniversary tour, Simple Plan World Tour 2017 post-game VIP. And then when you meet each of them, they sign your tag. Oh, and then I still have my wristband, but I don't know where I put it, but I do still have the wristband somewhere. So Tyler and Zach drove around for, I think they said it was an hour and a half waiting for me to be done. So that's how much time I spent with them. It was an hour and a half. There was that. They picked me up, we went back to the hotel, crashed for the night, woke up the next day, went and had Village Inn, and came home. So we had a nice little weekend getaway, and I really enjoyed it. I also have some closing thoughts here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw them out here. I think that what this band is doing is so cool, and it really goes to show how much they care about their fans, and I'm gonna get emotional talking about this. There aren't that many musicians that will go this far out of their way to meet their fans and to give them an opportunity like this, or to connect with them so much, or to make their fans feel like they genuinely care about them. Simple Plan, you know, if you are a fan of the band, clearly they care about you. Clearly they care about their fandom, and they care about the people that are listening to their music. It doesn't matter if you're 5 or 55. Like, they care about you, and they want you to know that they care about you and that they appreciate the fact that you listen to their music still. I just think it's so cool. The thing is that they don't have to do this. They choose to do this. They choose to meet their fans. They choose to connect with us. They choose to care about us. I don't know how many other acts can say the same. I really don't. It's not unnoticed. It's not unappreciated. Like, I don't think I can say thank you enough. You guys make music that puts our feelings into words. You make music that explains things to others that we can't explain ourselves. You make music that doesn't feel like we're alone. You make music that helps us connect with each other, that makes us feel like there are other people out there that are going through the same thing. Like, I don't know how much more I have to say besides these guys are so cool, they're so genuine, and what they're doing is awesome, and I hope they never stop. They've been around for like 19 years, they're going on 20 years. They formed in 1999, and they're still making music, they're still touring, and if for whatever reason one of my lucky stars has blessed me enough that Pierre, Chuck, Jeff, Sebastian, or David is watching this, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for making the music you make. Thank you for taking care of us and caring about us. You guys are literally the best, and I don't know what I'd do without your guys' music because it keeps me sane. Alright, I think that's all I've got. Just to remind you, I'm gonna leave links down below to the Simple Plan Foundation and to the video where I'm Just a Kid was in Cheaper by the Dozen if you're curious. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye!